Call this meeting to order, the best Rotary Club in the universe. Thank you. We have an invocation by Julia.
Yep, we do. Heavenly Father and sustainer of all that is or will ever be, accept our thanks for the day and for the blessings that you have provided. We ask that you guide us and direct us in our club, guide its leaders and our actions, and grant that as we do the work for you, it will be honorable, not just to you, but to our city, to our country, and to other nations whom we serve. This we ask in your Son's name, amen.
All right, now our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now our four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Sam, we have a song?
We're going to keep singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game until we win the whole thing, right? Okay. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever back good for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out of the old ball game.
All right, thank you. Let's have a seat. All right, I know we have one visiting Rotarian. We have Kim Kimmy from the Fidalgo Island Club, and she's going to get up and talk in just a minute. Do we have any others? No others? Do we have any guests of Rotarians, John Maturin?
Brought my wife Sylvia. She wanted to hear the guest speaker today, so here she is.
I thought Sylvia was just here to keep an eye on some of us that are drafted back for working on the cabin. So we're going to roll right into club business. And Kim, would you like to step up and talk about wreaths?
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me. Everybody's saying we invited you. I didn't know we invited you. I'm with Fidalgo Island Rotary, and I'm also with the Daughters of the American Revolution, known as DAR. Do we have any veterans here? I know Lynn is. 2, 3? Married to veterans? How about that? 3, 4? Okay. Well, thank you for your service, and I'm here to talk about wreaths across America. Is there anyone who does not know what that is? Don't be shy. Okay. Oh, wow, a lot. Okay, Wreaths Across America is a nationwide program. Over 4,000 cemeteries participate simultaneously. And the Ann Washington chapter of the DAR started it 4 years ago here in Skagit County, and we couldn't decide which cemetery to do, so we chose the county seat of Mount Vernon, and it's at Hawthorne Cemetery on Saturday, December 13th. It's at the exact same time all over the world. It's at 9 a.m. here because the lead cemetery is in Arlington, at Arlington National at noon their time. Aren't we glad we're not in Hawaii and have to be there at 4 a.m. or something? So it's at 9 a.m. You're all invited, and we honor veterans. They say you die twice, once when you take your last breath, and the second time when your name is said for the last time. So we don't just throw these wreaths all around. It's a very solemn ceremony. It's short. We encourage you to bring family members, particularly young people. And it's a very moving, very nice ceremony. And then we all go lay wreaths on the grave. We stop for a moment and say that person's name and rank. And then there's refreshments afterwards. My Rotary Club said, we don't like to have speakers that are always asking for money. So I'm inviting you to this. It's free. However, we need wreaths. They are $17 a piece. Here's a flyer I will leave with you. And this part's very, very important. You can people say, oh, I'll just go to the website, Wreaths Across America. Yes, you can do that. Be sure to put Ann Washington Chapter and Hawthorne Memorial Park, because we have a program, a special program. We get $5 back for each wreath, and we put that toward local veterans. With that money, we were able to help purchase a van for local veterans to get to medical appointments. We went to the veterans and said, what do you most need? And that's what they most needed. So we did that. Then the next year, we helped pay for their insurance, gas, maintenance, tires, all that stuff. And now they just came to us, and they have so many veterans lined up at the Skagit Vet Center for help that they've set up a beautiful little waiting room there. And they ask us for a refrigerator, a special one with a glass front, for cold drinks. And they have Scrabble games and cards and puzzles and stuff for them while they wait, which helps with PTSD. And that just got delivered yesterday. So that's what we do with the funds. So you're all invited. Please try to come. It's won't take very long, and it's very meaningful. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you so much for having me, and I'll leave the materials here with Lynn. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Kim. Let's see, Mandy. There you go, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about an event that we're going to be having. The 4 sponsors, Birchview Memory Care, where I work, Home Instead, Hospice of the Northwest, and Home Place. So this event is a fundraiser event. It's a fundraiser for the Meals on Wheels, so the Skagit Valley Meals on Wheels. This is the 3rd one we're actually having. So the first one was at Birchview Memory Care. I missed out. I wasn't working at Birchview then, but I heard it was so much fun because we hire these comedians from Bellingham. They are great at what they do. So this event, as I said, is on the 17th. The tickets are $40 in advance. So when you're ready to purchase the tickets, there's a QR code there that you can scan and then purchase your tickets. And then if you don't get them now, if you get to the door and buy them, they'll be at $50. You can also go to Skagit Meals on Wheels. They have a link there and you're able to purchase your tickets there too. So something else. So we're planning, our goal is to sell about 125 tickets. So we currently have sold about 60 tickets right now. So more details, a little bit more details. We have, if you're interested in getting a VIP table, so we have 3 VIP tables. One of them is already gone. So, but there's 2 more. So if you're interested to get that, it would be 6 people at a table, and that goes for $300. So I'm in charge, since we're sponsoring. So something else that I'm in charge of is the silent auction baskets. So the plan was to get about 15 of them. So I have about 9 people that are gonna bring baskets to my job. So if you're interested in donating a basket, whatever you wanna donate, just reach out to any of the sponsors or even me. Since you have my information, you can reach out to me too. All right, any questions? Okay.
Sam, did you want to talk a little bit about the 5th Thursday?
Yes. So we have an opportunity to have a social happy hour type event on Thursday, October 30th. So a show of hands, who would be interested in going to do such a thing at like Barley and Brew at around 6 o'clock on Thursday, October 30th? Okay, we'll do it then. Perfect, thank you.
All right. Let's see. Becky, did we need to do any meeting afterwards for the Christmas party? You've already taken care of it. So, and we're going with hors d'oeuvre type thing. So just to let you know, Becky's been working hard already on our Christmas party, and we got presented a dinner option for the Christmas party, and we all got together at the last meeting, I think it was, and looked at more of a heavy hors d'oeuvres option, which I think kind of suits us a little bit better. So that's what we're going with. And if you have any questions, we've got the menu already set, and LaConner Seafood is going to be taking care of us again, who's been taking very good care of us for several of our last events. The other thing is next board meeting will be October 14th, 5:30 at the Senior Center. And with that, that's all I have for announcements. Do we have anything from the floor? Carl? Nothing? Oh, okay. Sam, do we have a raffle?
We do.
There we go.
First number 69. Rick is the winner. Next, we have 54. All right, Daryl. Thank you. 65. Phil. And last one, 26. All right.
All right. We have it rigged this way to bribe you.
You want to spin? Yeah, spin it, spin it.
Oh, all right.
What? I guess it was meant to be.
All right, thank you. And Sam, you're up for
Yes.
Sergeant at Arms.
Yes.
Everybody,
Yes, I am. I'm gonna
Yep.
put my glasses on so I can read this. I thought since it was fall, we'll do a little football trivia. So before we start, if you have a fantasy football team, that'll be $1. And if you don't watch football, that'll be $2, Lynn.
um,
Okay. Okay, question for this table. Before the Seahawks adopted the Seahawks name, what were the other finalist names that were being considered for the franchise? Nobody? No? Nope. The top 3 contenders were the Missiles, the Rainmakers, and the Americans. So that'll be $2. Should I give you guys an easy question or a really hard question? I think I'll give you one. In what year did the Seahawks retire the number 12 to honor their fans, known as the 12th man? No, 1984. That'll be $2. Google it. Google it. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you an easier one because I already was mean to them. So, which former Seahawks running back holds the franchise record for the most career rushing touchdowns? Sean Alexander is correct. So that's just $1 for your correct answer. And let's see. Which Seahawks player scored the franchise first ever Super Bowl touchdown? It was Percy Harvin. It was a kickoff return against the Broncos. Okay. Percy Harvin. Is there online folks? Okay, online folks. In 2005, the Seahawks set an NFL record for the most points scored in a single playoff game. How many points did they score and against who? No takers? I guess they're all going to have to pay because it was 51 points and it was against the Rams. St. Louis Rams.
All right. Do we got some happy bucks?
Do we have any happy bucks? Okay.
I have a happy six. The boys tennis team won their first match yesterday. They tried pretty hard to screw up my strategic genius, but we pulled it out in the end.
Nice job. Any other happy bucks?
I'm happy to be at the greatest Rotary Club in the universe.
That is an honor in itself, isn't it? That is great. Okay.
I Venmoed 5, so I might as well use it. So just a reminder, if you're a Cubs football fan, tonight is the football game. We have such a shortage of referees anymore that every school in the conference is basically taking a turn at a Thursday night game. So if you usually attend, it's at the usual time, 7:00, and it's at home against Edmonds Woodway. So come on out. We'll probably cream them, and then we'll be 5-0.
And it's youth night and wear pink for breast cancer awareness. One more little piece of business for October. If you have a birthday in October, that is $2. And if you have an anniversary, it is $3. And thank you very much.
And Sam, if you want to gather all the money, I can take it
Okay.
and figure out where to go. All right. Do we have any early leavers? If you're an early leaver, that's $2. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker for today. Our speaker today is going to be Jessica Espy. Jessica is the outreach coordinator for Hampton Lumber. Her role is focused on community engagement with forest management as well as community enrichment projects. She is here today to talk about the exciting community events she has organized in Western Washington. And where's Mike Janicki? I figured he would be here just to see what was going on. So what the heck? Jessica, you're up.
Okay. I'm so glad there's a microphone. I've done so many of these without a microphone, and it's just the officialness is really nice. I appreciate it. Oh, great. All right. So yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me presenting. I really appreciate this opportunity. I have been to only one other Rotary meeting in my entire life, and that was in Marysville. And I have to say already you guys have blown it out of the water. So this one is way more fun. So I just wanted to kind of come and talk to you all first about what Outreach with Hampton Lumber is, who the heck is Hampton Lumber, and then talk about a couple exciting community events that I've done this year and some events that I have coming up in November and for the rest of the year. So just to kind of give you a little brief summary of Hampton, we're a 4th generation family owned, still to this day, family owned, sustainable timber company. The corporate office is based out of Portland. We started down in Oregon. We now own timberland in Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia. In Western Washington alone, we own 94,000 acres. So that's the area that we care about here. There's a lot of great stuff going on in Oregon. We have the mill in Darrington, which is really close to Arlington, and we have 2 more mills in Washington. So the thing I love so much about working for Hampton is that they really consistently uphold those family values with all of their employees and all the people that they work with. It's a big company, but it has never felt that way to me. It's never felt like I work for this big faceless giant. I've met the CEO numerous times, and I've worked with corporate people, and it's a great company to work for. They're doing a lot of really good stuff in the community, which is where my job comes in. So we cut and harvest trees. And does anyone here have like a family background with logging or anything in the timber industry? Anyone? Julia? Yeah. So we're all here today thanks to logging, believe it or not. In the late 1800s, the logging industry around here really started booming. It really instigated a lot of technology changes in the community of Skagit and Sedro Woolley. I think it's in the late 1800s, there were over 89 million board feet a year being shipped out of the Skagit River, which is a pretty impressive number for that far back with what they were working with, like steam donkeys and whatnot. So I just kind of wanted to share with you what it looked like. Like we've all probably seen these crazy pictures, like this one really blew my mind. That is a cedar stump, an old growth cedar stump. And there's 76 people on top of that stump. For me, the first thing comes up is like, wow, why would they cut a tree that big? That is kind of mind blowing. But this is the history of the area. And it's a big part of why this place is how it is. So I really like to kind of acknowledge that. And I appreciate working in the industry with such an interesting, rich history like this. So it looks a lot different today. The way we do things is, I mean, if you could take a logger from the early 1900s and send him out with the Janikes today, I mean, I don't know if he'd make it. Maybe there'd be some fights. I don't know. But it just looks so different today. And the two things that really change things are technology and a prioritization of safety. With Hampton specifically and other large companies like Sierra Pacific, Janike, they're constantly concerned about the safety and well-being of employees. The mill in Darrington is currently undergoing a huge upgrade to get rid of these jobs where they're called, shit jobs because nobody wants them. They're not safe. We want to get rid of them. So we're upgrading things to make it more appealing to people and to make it safer for them to be doing these jobs every day. It'll never be perfect. It'll never be a perfectly safe industry, but there's hardworking people who continue to love doing it, and we want to support those people. So why outreach? And what is outreach? Outreach, I feel like, is kind of a new big thing. You probably hear it a lot in different capacities. For Hampton, outreach looks like me. I'm the person who connects with businesses and organizations in the community, and I find ways to either support them through sponsorships or fundraising, or work with them on events like the ones I'll tell you about in just a sec here. Outreach is important for our industry. I think we still get a really bad rap politically. There's a lot of misconceptions, I would say. People don't understand that the industry has changed so much from that, cut and run era to what it is now. We're very thoughtful with what we're doing. So my job is to kind of talk to people and teach them what modern forest management actually looks like. Now, I'm not a forester, so it's been an interesting role for me to kind of jump into, but I love people and I love taking people out to the woods. So that's kind of my priority. So here's an example of just a few of the community partnerships that I've built over the last 2 years. We work with the Boys and Girls Clubs. We work with multiple chambers of commerce. I work with Genuine Skagit Valley. This is just a small example of the folks that we like to work with. And there's plenty of room for more opportunity. I'm constantly looking for new partnerships and relationships to build. So my favorite part of the job is getting people into the woods. And how I do that is I usually try to work with organizations who are already kind of interested in that. Some of those organizations are the Pacific Education Institute based out of Olympia, Washington, DNR's Youth Engagement and Outreach Program, the Sedro Woolley FFA. It can look like a lot of different things, but they're usually groups that work with young people. So two of the groups that I worked with over the spring were the Pacific Education Institute and DNR's Youth Engagement and Outreach Program. So both of these programs are focused on getting kids outside and learning hands-on outdoor-based curriculum. They've done recent studies showing that kids learn, they build a greater depth of knowledge when they're actually using their hands and they're outside, as opposed to just being, talked at, sitting in a classroom. So for the PEI tour, we took a group of teachers from Skagit County out, and these were K through 12 teachers, and they went out to the woods with us on a 2-day event, and we took them out to the woods. We showed them a freshly harvested unit. We showed them a recently planted unit, and we always have hands-on activities built in for the teachers, and we give them information that they can take back to the classroom. And then working with DNR, we took students from Sedro Woolley High School out, and we taught them about modern forest management. And then they got to go out to Blanchard, where they learned about DNR's REC program and how DNR does forest management, which can look a little different than the way private industry does it. One thing I'm so super proud of is this early spring, we had an issue with illegal dumping on one of our units that was on Old Day Creek Road. There was just tons of trash out there. It was a huge issue. And so I reached out to the Sedro Woolley FFA and asked if the students would be willing to help us clean up the trash in exchange for rec passes. And they did it. They came out, they spent a whole half day with us. It was rainy, it was cold. There was a ton of garbage there. It was over 300 pounds of garbage, and they were in great spirits the whole time, and we cleaned up the whole area. It was really impressive, and it was a great group of kids to work with. Another thing I like to do in the spring is work with WSU up in Whatcom on their 5th grade forest tour. So on the is that right, left, right? One of those. We work with kids. Kids go to different stations in an orchard, and they learn about forest management, conservation, and wildfire. So I had the kids, I talked to them briefly about like what a healthy forest is. And then I wanted to see what they think is in a healthy forest. So I had them draw what they think is in a healthy forest. And I was surprised to find out that kids don't actually draw what you think that they'll draw. At one point there was like a dragon in the forest, and it was really interesting. They got really creative with what they were drawing, but it was just kind of a nice opportunity to allow them to be creative while also learning like, okay, what do we think is in a healthy forest? What's not in a healthy forest? What are some misconceptions we have around forest management? Excuse me. Another tour I did in the spring was with Genuine Skagit Valley. Blake works for Genuine Skagit Valley, and they do primarily agriculture marketing. You might see the little Genuine Skagit Valley signs around Skagit. We took local officials. Commissioner Ron Wiesen was there. We had a Mount Vernon City Council member there, and then members of the public. We took them to 3 different spots during one day. We had them go to the Swinomish Shellfish Farm, Headland Family Farms, and then we took them out to the woods. And this was just a really nice opportunity for folks to learn about natural resource management in Skagit. It's a great opportunity to have people from the public kind of get like a hands-on perspective of, how are our resources being managed by the people who are in charge of running them? How is our water being managed? How is our food being managed? It was a really fun event, and I was really surprised about how engaged everyone was. And I'm looking forward to doing it again next year. This more recent event was with Whatcom Family Farmers. We took local officials and public leaders out on a dairy farm, a berry farm, and then out into the woods. And this one was closed to the public. It was kind of more of an opportunity for farmers and forest managers to kind of talk about how we're doing the work that we do, what are our struggles with regulatory and policy issues. We were able to kind of have an in-person dialogue with the folks who have an influence on those sort of things. So it was a really powerful event, and we're going to be doing this annually. And I'm looking forward to doing something like this in Skagit as well. And lastly, we have a stewardship project here. We do the pollinator project in Skagit and Snohomish. So basically, it's very simple. We don't need as many words that are on the slide. I take native seeds and I spread them on subalpine areas that our timberland are located in. And the reason we're doing this is because as the climate warms, the tree line is going to steadily be going up and up. So pollinator habitat will be disappearing. So providing some of those plants and flowers for pollinators will hopefully balance the change that we see from climate change. And this is my big event that I'm doing in November. So the Hampton family is a huge supporter of the arts. We do a lot of stuff down in Oregon. Two of the Hampton brothers, they started a band called the Brothers Jam. So since we do so much support for the arts in Oregon, we wanted to start doing something in Washington. So this is kind of like our big launch for that type of support. So we are throwing a fundraising gala. It'll be November 8th at the Stille Valley Center, and the money will go towards 4 youth art programs in Skagit and Snohomish. One of those programs will be the Central Elementary School in Sedro Woolley, their art program. She does art and choir. And then we will have another organization will be the Upper Skagit Library and Concrete, and the Darrington School District Art Program, and the Arlington Arts Council. So all 4 of those groups will be receiving the money. I'm working with the Snohomish Boys and Girls Club on this. They're helping me with the funds. And yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that the event is coming up. If you're interested, we're still looking for donations and baskets, and it'll be a fun time. We're going to have some live performances and dessert dash and all that good stuff. And that's it. Thank you. Oh, luckily, I don't do politics, luckily. So I could get you the answer if you're interested.
How does it affect a company like yours?
I know that it has some effect, but we work directly with a Canadian supplier. I can't remember the name of the supplier, but we have strong relationships built up there already. Since it's such a long-term business, we're thinking like 40, 80 years in advance. So I think we have strong enough relationships that it doesn't affect too much, but I can't say much more than that. I'm not as familiar with those topics. Yeah.
I would like to see you show off your plant up in Darrington. That's quite a plant.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to take people out.
Can you add some pictures to your presentation?
Yeah,
for the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. All right, want to thank Kim, who already took off. She had to get back to wherever she was going. Thank you, Jessica, for coming in today. Don't take off. I had a question for you before you go. And if there's nothing else, if we could help clean up, put everything away, and we are adjourned.